Hello guys, welcome to Amazing Engineering, and today in this Inventor tutorial we will see the assembly and animation of a Chebyshev mechanism, which is a simple rocker crank mechanism. So let's start from the single parts, for example for the frame. And before starting, every time you are designing a Chebyshev mechanism, you have to set a reference length because the other lengths are multiples of this length. In our case, we will set a reference length of 100 millimeters, and in the case of the frame, its length is equal to the reference length. So let's make a slot. Its first length is 100 millimeters and the second one 20 millimeters. Let's make two circles whose diameters are 15 millimeters length. Close the sketch. Click on extrusion. The extrusion length is 15 millimeters. You can also change the color, for example blue. And now let's save the frame on desktop. The second part is the crank, and its length is the half of the reference length, so let's create another slot whose lengths are 50 and 25 millimeters. Let's create other two circles with a diameter of 15 millimeters. Then other two circles whose diameters are 25 millimeters length. Let's link these two circles with two lines. Let's cut these parts in order to get this contour. Close the sketch. Click on extrusion again. The extrusion length is 10 millimeters. We can set black as color. Let's save it on desktop too. Now let's make the connecting rod. Its length is the 5/2 of the reference length. So let's make a slot whose first length is 250 millimeters and the second one 25 millimeters. Let's make two circles whose diameters are 15 millimeters length too. Other three circles whose diameters are 250 millimeters. Sorry, 25 millimeters. Again, let's link these circles with lines. And let's cut these parts. In order to get this contour. Click on extrusion. The extrusion length is 10 mm again. Let's set as color black again. And this is the connecting rod. Let's save it on desktop. The last part is the rocker. And its length is equal to the 5/4 of the reference length. So the length of our slot is 125 millimeters, then 25 millimeters. As we did for the other two members, let's create two circles whose diameters are 15 millimeters length. Then other two circles whose diameters are 25 millimeters length. And again, let's link these circles with two lines. Let's cut this part in order to get this contour. Close the sketch. Click on extrusion. The extrusion length is 10 millimeters again. Set black color again. And let's save the last part on desktop. Now we have to assemble the single parts, so let's create a new assembly. Let's position as first the frame. Because it is the frame, we have to fix this part. Now let's set the crank. Let's set a constant constraint between the crank and the frame. We can also move the crank in order to have a better view. Now let's set the connecting rod. And the rocker. Let's set a constant constraint between the rocker and the frame. add another constant constraint between the connecting rod and the crank, and between the connecting rod and the rocker. Now, in order to animate the mechanism, let's make visible the XZ plane of the frame and the plane of the crank where its axis lies, in this case the XZ plane. Now let's set an angular constraint between these two planes in order to make the plane of the crank rotate around the plane of the frame. You can call it as you want, for example, motor. Click on animation on the angular constraint. You can set the start and the final value of the angle, for example, from 0 to 1000 degrees. Click on play, and this is the animation of the mechanism. As you can see, this point describes the typical trajectory of the Chebyshev mechanism. Well, this is all for today. I invite you to subscribe on my channel and see you for the next video.